Hello, I'm going to be reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid Hard Luck, which has 8 balls all over the place. 8 balls were invented by Albert C. Carter in 1950. But hear this. I have a theory that Wimpy Kid, Greg Heffley, is Albert C. Carter's mother. Think about it. His mother liked to read a lot. And you know who else liked to read a lot? Greg Heffley, because he has a book in the top of his head. Now that's just a theory, because my teacher in the 3rd grade said before we read the book we had to make a theory. And that'd be answered within the book. See, this is orange. Like, there's a YouTube series called, The Annoying Orange, and it consists of an annoying orange, and like everybody hates him. There's a pear, he hates him. There's an apple, he hates him. And I don't hate the orange because he's not respected. But orange is also a color of love, and I love the annoying orange. Not anybody. Mathline doesn't like the annoying orange. Neither does the turkey, but I do. He might be annoying, but he's a respected member of life itself. Right? See this? This is being different throughout the world. You might be different, but people still like you. If Massline didn't like that one brown spot in the orange field, he would have wiped it off. He would have. But he respected it because it was still a color. It was still a color between this whole world itself. And that's what makes that little brown spot special. You might be a different type of person, but you will still be respected by the government throughout the world of orange. Surrounded by a green field. You know what that green field represents? Society. We are all part of society. If we hate society, then that means we just hate ourselves. Over here we have a lot of insight throughout this thing. It mentions other books that we should buy. That's advertising. And Albert C. Carter advertised the Magic 8 Ball. That's my theory. Interesting. This guy is called Dad. And you know who else is called Dad? The YouTuber on YouTube that has 99.5 thousand subscribers, who's also named Dad, who makes weird stories on his YouTube page. Think about this. This is a story on a page. You know, that's lucky. That's lucky. I almost feel like a kid exploring these theories within the pages itself. Think about this. Movie diary. Movie diary. That doesn't make sense. That's like an oxymoron. Oxymoron. Think about this. Oxymoron has moron in it. In the first book, on the back of the book, it says that Greg Heffley's surrounded by morons. Interesting, huh? Think about this. So, if Greg Heffley's surrounded by morons, then that means all these people in front of his eyes are morons. Think about this. Oxy. What does that spell? O-X-Y. XYZ is a Pokemon game. And you know who made Pokemon? Nintendo. Nintendo has 10 in it. 10-year-old in Skelly. There's a 10-year-old named Michael. Interesting. Michael has I-A in it. I-A. Diary. I think that Jeff Kinney's Michael from Skelly. It might be just a theory, but I think it's true. It might be leading to our society that everything has to be true. But no, I think that this is true. Wait a second, it's an amulet book? Think about this, in Undertale, they find an amulet in the lab behind Santa's house. You know where I found this book? In the garbage. But behind somebody's house. That's a message. Right there. Alright, next page. Abrams. 115 West 18th Street, 18. That's how old you have to be to do anything in life. You can't do anything if you're under 18. I can't see why. I'm 21. But still, I find this a powerful message that all children and people under 18 are the only ones allowed to read this book, because it's a boycott. It's trying to spread a message of life, that some people are allowed to do things, but some people aren't. It's like yin and yang. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, incidents, imagination, used fictionlessly. Huh? Then why do I see Albert C. Carter on the front of the book? That makes me mad. Are you calling him a work of fiction? That's what everybody does in this oppressing society. If you... Let me repeat myself. If you do not agree with somebody in this oppressing society, you just say it's a work of fiction. Jeff Kinney is trying to make a statement that he does not agree with the works of the Magic 8 Ball. That's just life. See, he's fine. He's innocent. Because if you don't agree with him and his statement that he doesn't like the Magic 8 Ball, then you are actually the bad part of society. Alright, look at this blank page. You know what represents that? Sometimes we don't need to do work. Sometimes we can be lazy. Sometimes we don't have to fill in every step we walk. Sometimes we don't have to do anything. People might say, that's just a page. That's just a page spacer to represent our society. That it might be a space from another work, but it's still the same work. I don't agree with that. I think that our society sucks. And here's why. Because we might be lazy. And that's why nobody cares about any of that's why nobody cares. There's my sentence. I don't need to say anything else. Like that page. I don't need to fill in every page I write. Sometimes it's okay to be lazy. Alright. March. I think it's funny. March. Like society marching their way in to modern times. That's not funny. That's not funny, Jeff Kinney. That it's us marching into our lives. It's not you marching into my life. It's me marching into my life. I feel like I am a person. I don't need to be directed by a person, another force, for the rest of my life. I don't need to march more. I don't need to march. I need to march without you. That's what I say. I am independent. I can march on my own. We forgot about a page. This belt with a mountain on it. It's a flashback. It's like PTSD. Because I just picked up a lasso. And that came from Tennessee, where the Great Smoky Mountains are. And guess what? It's trying to make me remember that. It's not trying to make me feel good. It's not trying to make me feel happy. It's trying to make me memorize about the past and stop thinking about the future. I have to think about the future. I can't just think about the past. Sometimes I need to move on. Sometimes I need to accept that the future is in front of me. Think about this too. Of a wimpy kid is red. The other words are not red, except for this, which is the number New York Times bestseller. Even if you're a wimpy kid, you can be a bestseller, which means you can be the best of New York, which means you can be the best of a place. You don't have to be strong to be respected. You don't have to be cool or look good or be the right weight or height or eye color. Because some people get made fun of for having green eyes. Think that's a joke. No, even if you're different, even though if you're different from everybody else, you're still respected. You can be the best out of that place. Which reminds me, America. Even though I was born in Canada and I live in Toronto, I can go to Tennessee and still be respected because I can still be the best in America, even though I was different, even though I'm Canadian. That's a message. That's a message about life. Sometimes the red equals hunger, which means everybody likes to devour the wimpies of this world, the people that don't make sense, the people that are different, and people just like to say, that's hard luck. That's life. There we go with that phrase again, hard luck. That's insane. That's insane. You can't just say that. You can't think that somebody would feel good. That's a message about society. Going back to the orange paper. You can be different from society, but that doesn't mean that it's just hard luck that you're different from everybody else. That just doesn't make sense. It's not lucky. All right, next time we do this, we're actually going to read the book.